All right.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. We are 1 minute late. I apologize about that. We're still waiting on a couple of panelists to join in. So I'll go ahead and do some introductions while we're waiting. Oh, it looks like Alex has joined us. Hey, Alex.
Hey.
How's it going? We got started just 1 minute late, so sorry about that. Great. Let's go ahead and do some quick intros. I'll go ahead and share my screen really quick. Thank you guys for joining us. I want to, first of all, say that I might be a little bit rusty. It's been a while since I posted a webinar, so I might need some grace here. But my name is Jenna from Justuno. I handle partnership marketing here at Justuno, so I work closely with our agency team and also our tech partners. So today we're super excited. It's the first webinar we've ever presented strictly about SMS. It's been a huge topic amongst our customers, and we're happy to bring some of our partners today to help educate you guys on best practices and strategy, as well as bring somebody from our own team to talk about how Justuno fits into that equation. So today we're going to be joined by Jason, who you see on video. He's from Andzen and he is in Australia. So good morning, Jason. And I'll go ahead and
Thank you.
introduce yourself, and you guys can just go down the line.
Cool. Yeah, my name's Jason. I'm from Andzen down in Australia, as Jenna was saying. So we're a customer journey agency, and really we specialize in one-to-one marketing. So if that's SMS marketing, email marketing, Facebook Messenger, we specialize in capturing the permissions for those platforms and then setting up all the automated customer journeys to make sure that you're sending the right personalized communication with your customers at the right time. And yeah, I am based in Australia, but we do also have an office in LA.
Great, thanks, Jason. Maddie B, you're up next.
All right, cool. Hey guys, Matt Bingham, Director of Agency Partners. Been at Justuno for, gosh, over 7 years now, which is kind of crazy. I work with all of our agency partners, including Jason, help them leverage our platform to help with email opt-in, SMS opt-in, on-site conversions, and whatever else they need me to do. So thanks for everyone for coming today.
Cool, and last but not least, Alex from Postscript.
Least, absolutely least. Hey everybody, I'm Alex. Thanks for joining us. I'm the co-founder of Postscript, which is an SMS marketing platform that works exclusively with brands on Shopify and Shopify Plus. We'll be talking all about it. I'm getting a kick out of this picture where I look really serious and also very young. Maybe that story will come out. I don't know.
And without the quarantine mustache, right?
Sure.
Cool. Well, I'm curious to see, it looks like we have quite a few attendees on, so if you guys don't mind sharing and popping in the chat and let us know where you are joining from today. I'd love to know if we have anybody international. I'm pretty sure we probably have people here in the US, but just curious to see what city, what state, whatever you're wanting to share. Quickly, I'll review our agenda. So first, Matt's going to talk about how you can capture SMS effectively on site. Second, we're going to kick it to the experts at Andzen. So Jason's going to walk us through the marketing strategy around capturing that and what to do with it. And then lastly, Alex is going to go into specifics on SMS campaigns and the best practices that they've seen at Postscript. Lastly, we will hope to save time for some Q&A. Kind of depends on how much time we have left. But before we get started, I also wanted to just review a couple of logistics. So at any time, if you guys have questions during the webinar, feel free to pop into the chat. I will be watching that, as well as we have Cynthia from the Andzen team as well, and she will be helping me answer questions too. If you want to submit those in chat, great. If you'd like to submit it as a Q&A, you can do that, and then we can select to answer that live, or we'll just answer it directly in chat. So either way, feel free to voice your questions during the presentation. If we don't answer them, we'll save it for the end, and I'll make sure that we answer everybody's question and that we have time for that.
Yeah, please ask lots of questions and keep Jenna and Cynthia busy while the rest of us are talking.
Yeah, we have one person here in their location. So Michelle is listening in from Florida. Thanks for joining, Michelle. Appreciate it. Oh, sorry, one more question. Just as an FYI, will this webinar be recorded and available to rewatch? That's from Adrian. Yes, Adrian, as long as you registered, which you did because you are here in the chat, you will get a recording. So no worries. That will come from the Justuno team. So cool. Well, with that, Maddie B, I will let you, actually, you want to share your screen? And that way
sure.
you move your own slides?
Sure. Let me go ahead. All right.
And as a reminder for our other panelists, so Jason and Alex, you guys can also take back screen share when you're ready to share your own slides.
Great.
All right. Oops. How are we looking? Is this good?
We're working on it. Try it one more time. Yeah. If not, Matt, I can just share it to you. Either way.
There you go. Let's present. Well, first off, everyone, thanks for joining. You know, this is awesome to do with Postscript. You know, they've been really taking off in the Shopify and Shopify Plus. Alex, congrats again on the recent certification. And thanks, Jason, for joining. You know, Jason and Andzen have been a partner for a few years now. They really take our platform and utilize it really effectively for their clients with email capture. But today we're going to talk about SMS, SMS opt-ins and getting ready for the holidays. I know it's July and it's a little early to talk about it, but I think it's better to start building your list now and getting your strategies in place so that you can have a good Q4 season, especially since the start of this year has been kind of a rough and rocky period for a lot of people. So what I'm going to talk about today is just getting SMS opt-ins. You know, one of the easiest things you can do with an opt-in process is target certain traffic sources or visitors on your website. The best and easiest thing you can do is doing some sort of new visitor offer. Most websites see anywhere between 50 and 80% of their daily traffic are brand new visitors. And this is through paid ads, social, organic, direct. And these people come to your site, first time visit, and you need to capture some sort of information. If you paid for them to get there, it's even more valuable, right? You want to get a return on ad spend. You want to get some sort of contact information. But what we've seen over the past year, especially since SMS has really taken off, the consumers are changing. People don't want to just sign up for newsletters. They'd rather have something a little bit more effective. The great thing with SMS is that you stand out from the crowd, right? You're not in a busy inbox. You're getting a direct one-to-one communication channel. The click-through rates are good. And we're going to talk about two effective ways that you can leverage Justuno for those opt-ins. The other channel besides new visitors to think about, and you want to start building your list, is targeting maybe somebody who's already subscribed to your email or they're already a customer. So the cool thing with Justuno is you can target people coming from like a newsletter or just from Klaviyo as an example and coming to your site. If you want to capture that SMS, make an incentivized offer. You know, 10% off on this purchase. Give us your number. We'll text it to you. That's another effective way to build that channel. Now, what I really like about SMS is that it's a really good supplemental tool with email. You know, people need anywhere between 8 to 20 touch points sometimes before they can even go towards that first purchase. Sometimes you get a same session first visit, which is great, but some people need a lot of nurturing, and they see your paid ads, they see your website. If you get an email, you're going to send them some emails, and if you get a number, you can start texting them fun and engaging ways. And Jason and Alex are going to go over some cool ways to do that. But you know, you got to think about touch points and how you can get people interested in your brand, who you are, and we're going to go over some ways just to get them in. I think the main thing when it comes to the opt-in process is making an incentive that is compelling to your database. Now, new visitor offers, you've seen it all, 10% off, 15% off, free shipping, but you can test some things out. Maybe try a gift with purchase, or maybe a contest of some sort. You're gonna have to find something that works with your margins, you know, or you're gonna find something that works with your audience. One of the easiest things you could do here with Justuno is using our one-click SMS layer. This is specifically for mobile, but what this does is it shows an overlay or pop-up, And when you click on that CTA, it redirects that person to their messenger, whether it's Android or iOS. And it has a pre-populated text already enabled that you can determine. What we found is that people click on it, they text quicker, you give them an incentive, and they just continue shopping throughout that session. This has been a really interesting aspect when it comes to mobile. I wasn't a big believer of pushing people away from your website, but people nowadays are just so, I guess, enabled by text. They feel a little bit more comfortable that they're willing to try these things out. So enable an SMS layer on your mobile pop-ups and offers, and you can get that opt-in process without the person having to like fill out their number or type in a bunch of things. It's just a lot of less friction to get an incentive and also on your list. The other thing is thinking about desktop. So we built on a multi-step form in our pop-ups this year, and it's been really interesting to see is that you can show a pop-up, ask for an email on one screen, and when they give you that email, it takes you to a second screen where you can ask for an SMS. And then when they give you that number, you can then provide a coupon code or tell a thank you note after that. I think for thinking about your SMS channel, maybe you want to switch it up. Maybe you start with the phone and then ask for an email. Whichever route you go, the cool thing is if they end up doing the first screen and then you maybe click off or get distracted, let's say you do collect that SMS number, it's going to go into your system. So you could still collect some data, but I think this is really valuable because you're collecting not only an email, but a phone number, so you can communicate through multiple channels for one person. Again, those multiple touch points. You can see this is kind of a good example because it's incentive-based, really easy to digest and understand. But this is something you can test out as you kind of fine-tune your opt-in process. Maybe try a multi-step form. Maybe try an email and SMS on the same screen instead of going through multiple screens. Maybe just try an SMS. But there's a lot of ways that you can use to help build those channels. And I think if you start to build your SMS channel today and think about Black Friday, Cyber Monday, if you convert 5-7% of your daily traffic into SMS leads and you engage them throughout July, August, September, one, you're getting a huge list to target after towards Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but you're engaging somebody on a pretty regular rate and you're standing out compared to an email inbox. So try fine-tuning your opt-in opportunities with SMS today and just continue to fine-tune it, whether it be design or incentives, and find what's best for your brand. Just a quick example of this, and this is another SMS opportunity. This is Mega Food. They're a client on our pro service team, and they actually did something interesting. They actually did a desktop SMS capture. They did a little corner slide out here, and when you clicked on it, it opened up an SMS opt-in opportunity. They got the consent checkbox here. People manually submit their phone number here, and they get a 15% discount for that purchase on that day. Now, what I like about this is that it's on desktop, and people on desktop are more willing to purchase, but people opted in at a super high rate on this offer, and they picked up their phone and they got the code and they just continued on their process, right? With desktop and maybe email capture, sometimes you run the risk of them opening a tab in their email inbox and kind of getting distracted. So this is kind of a good way to keep them on site. They use their phone to get the incentive, and then they go on from there. A 30-day period of this, it was a 53% engaged conversion rate. They got over $11,000 of same session revenue attributed to just this one offer. So people engaged and bought in that 30-minute window. And it's just a way to use 2 devices and 1 visitor. They also used our CTA tap to text feature here on mobile. You could see kind of the same design, but when you click here, instead of requiring a field, they just use the CTA. And when you click that CTA, it opens up there with the pre-populated text. I text Mega Food, and then they send me the discount. They've seen over $4,500 of same session conversions from this. People who opted in with the SMS have actually stayed on that list longer than through other methods, which is pretty interesting to see. But they've really liked the collaboration of desktop and mobile and thinking about that single visitor and those communication channels. Kind of a cool offer from them as well, guys. Mega Food reached out to us. They allowed us to present some of their metrics and show it off here, but they gave us a 40% discount code. It's called Mega Partners. We could drop it in the chat later. If you or anyone on this webinar wants to check out their website and buy something, use the coupon code for 40% off. They love Justuno. They love their SMS provider. They love seeing all the opt-in opportunities, and they also want to share the love of their products. So go ahead and check them out. They got a lot of cool stuff. And the last couple things here that I'll run through and pass it off to Jason after this is just talking about best practices with mobile. So, you know, mobile targeting, you got to know your audience, know how to run those displays. I think with design, you got to make sure that your background layer is covering the majority of your screen. Your targeting rule is in the right place. Like maybe you wait to the second page load or after somebody scrolls X amount of pixels. You know, make sure your CTAs and your text are easily legible and easily read. You know, I think a lot of merchants and people try to shove a lot of information into these overlays. And if you do something that's smaller than 12 font, they're just not going to read it. People are just going to click out. So try to keep it simple like this. Black Friday, 20% off, click here. I think you're going to get a lot more engagements and a lot more clicks. Think about, you know, your visitors and where you're targeting as well. You know, with mobile, interesting in the US, most Americans have a bigger finger and a bigger thumb than international people. The attention spans of international people are a lot longer than it is for Americans. So even if you start thinking about your audience and who people are, you know, make sure that you're accommodating, you know, their attention span and who they are as a person, just to make sure that you're getting the most opt-in process. And when in doubt, always do some A/B testing, try some things out and make sure it's valuable moving forward. And, you know, what you can do with your SMS data post the capture, start to think about, okay, now I got these people on my SMS list. I'm going to send them some text. Try to think about when they're coming back, or, you know, if they've clicked through several different SMS campaigns and came back to your website, start to think about showing them product recommendations or showing them certain ways to get to certain products like the sale or a new product. So, you know, you got to think about it like a VIP list, right? In email, VIP, you send them a lot of incentives or new products. You could think of the same criteria when it comes to SMS. Take that purchase behavior, the visitor behavior, and the SMS component, kind of mash it together and make a good return visit from an SMS campaign. And start to think about how you want to stand out for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I know Jason and Alex have some campaigns and ideas they're going to go through, but you know, start to think about getting that list built up now. And then when it comes to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, when you're sending those texts, what's going to happen when they click and come back to your site? What are you going to do with your displays to make them purchase in that same session? So that's all I got. And I guess I'll pass it back to Jenna, and we can pause here for maybe a question or anything like that.
Yeah, we don't have any questions coming in through the chat, but that was an interesting tip that you gave, Matt, about Americans having a larger thumb. It kind of makes me chuckle. We should make like a...
Nice to know that we have cute, skinny little thumbs in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm like looking down now as we start doing it.
We should make a Justuno pre-built like US thumb design. Great, well, thanks, Matt. I also just realized I had been chatting only to the panelists, so now I will chat to all of the attendees too. I apologize about that. But Jason, with that set up for Matt, let's go ahead and kick off your section and let's get the nitty-gritty on the strategy.
All right. How's everyone going? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Great. So thanks for that, Matt. Yeah, today in my session, I'm going to be talking a little bit about what kind of SMS people actually want to receive, and most importantly, how not to end up getting ghosted by your customers. So we're going to start off just touching a little bit again on where and when to capture data. And we'll start off with some traditional strategies. Now, Matt has covered these pretty well, so I'm just going to kind of breeze through these and we'll get on to some of the more off the wall stuff. So on-site landing pages, obviously things like this convert really well, particularly if you're going to run something like a competition when you're first launching SMS. That can be a really good strategy to engage your email subscribers. Like Matt was saying, if you want to try and, you know, you've got a captured audience, particularly an engaged audience, running some sort of incentive to those people when you first launch SMS can be a really good strategy. It's not on this screenshot because I couldn't fit it in, but something that Subway did that was quite good in their landing page about this is they actually have a little disclaimer under that many SMS will, or more importantly, won't receive. I think they cap theirs at 4 or 5 a month, so like an absolute maximum of 1 a week. And that's another thing that you can do, particularly to your engaged audience, to give them that reassurance that, like, hey, you're not signing up for text messages at 1 a.m. You're only signing up to get text messages about important events, product launches, back in stocks, discounts, things like that. So that can be a really good way of giving people a bit of reassurance, but also arming yourself with a channel that you know is going to get 100% opens, really strong cut through. The other thing is exit intent pop-ups, and this is a strategy that at Andzen we use quite a bit. So we might try and capture an email address at the front end, what we would call the session. So someone's 30 seconds in or 4 or 5 pages in, we'll offer them an incentive, and then if they click out of that without subscribing, we might wait until they show exit intent. And then rather than just saying, hey, sorry, like, we know you didn't want to give us your email before, but how about now? You can come at them with a slightly different channel and a slightly different offer, maybe a slightly increased offer if the 10% wasn't enough to get them the first time. You can come at them with 20%, make it really simple, like one of those text to join offers where they just click join now, it takes them away to the SMS with the pre-written SMS, they hit send and off they go. It's really frictionless, which makes it perfect for exit intent. And if you did have someone who was on the fence, or maybe someone who closed that initial discount pop-up and have been thinking, how am I going to trigger that discount again? It's just a really good way to put another incentive in front of their face, something that's simple, as frictionless as possible, but it's going to be really effective at driving a conversion. The other thing, it wouldn't be a webinar without some sort of reference to Gary Vee, is the text to subscribe ads. So this works effectively the same way as that exit intent pop-up we just talked about, but the only difference is you're getting people to text what's called a short code. So it's just really short, 5 numbers. They text the number with a keyword that's unique to your brand, and that will just opt them straight into your program. You can then set it up to automatically text them back with their coupon code and a link back to the website. This ad is on Instagram, but of course, you could be running these in your Google display ads, your other social ads like Facebook and whatnot. I mean, heck, you have someone on TikTok talking about it if you really wanted to. But the idea is you're just keeping it simple. You're getting the number out there and making it easy for people to text. And then the last one is just the classic pop-up, you know, something that comes up on the site. I would always recommend waiting at least 30 seconds. So that people have a chance to look around the site and get the value proposition before they see the impression. But yeah, these are some of the traditional strategies that I would recommend going with if you're just starting out. Keeping those few things in mind, trying to make it frictionless. I'd always recommend having a little bit of information in there about how many SMS people can expect to receive, so that it puts them at ease and lets them know that they're getting a lot of value. So we jump on to some non-traditional strategies that also work really well. This one is my absolute favorite. I've been stung by it. Is using your mobile number to sign up for shipping updates rather than your email address. That's something that people really want to do. At the end of the day, we love when we order a package, it's like a massive countdown, right, until it arrives. So rather than just getting that come through in someone's email, a lot of people are quite keen to get the text message to know, hey, it's been packed. All right, now it's out for delivery. And then maybe even a text message to say, like, congratulations, the package has arrived. Those are the types of messages that people aren't going to be upset to receive, that people actually are going to be really excited to receive. And that feeling is often something that you can play off when you're trying to capture permission. The other one is back in stock. So we have an apparel client, an activewear apparel client, who do quite big major launches and then restocks on sort of a monthly basis. And they're very well known in Australia for them. They're quite a big activewear brand here, but they're also quite famous for selling out of most loved products within the first sort of 15 minutes of a new launch going live. So a really effective thing that you can do if you have a product that you know is in high demand, or if you have a VIP product that you know a lot of people are looking for, rather than just having people register for back in stock with their email, maybe get back from work, notice they got an email at 10 a.m., click the link, go to the site, and then really not a great customer experience. You can get people to sign up mobile numbers, and that's actually a much more attractive thing. If you're a customer, you think, I'm going to know straight away, I'm not going to miss the notification. If I really want this product, I'm going to find out the second that there's stock back. It can be really, really good for the customer and actually helps them. And again, you're putting the customer in the right mindset that, yeah, actually, I do want to give my mobile number because this is going to ensure that I don't miss out on something that I really want. Another thing that you can do is target by UTM source with Justuno. So this is a really great feature that Justuno has, where you can actually track where someone came from and then show them a pop-up that's just for them. So if you've got a lot of traffic coming out of Instagram, you can be really specific about, we know that you love our Instagram, sign up for text messages. They're on a mobile device, that that's the mentality that they're in. So targeting that way can be really effective, but it works the same way for email, right? If you want to have an offer that's targeted just to your email subscribers, you can have a pop-up on the website that'll target anyone who comes to the website from email, and then have some other in-context message about how, we know that you're an email subscriber, but sign up for SMS and get instant notifications about key important launches. And the last one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'll let you go ahead with that one, and then we have a question. I'll let you finish with this one.
Cool. The last one is just dropping in your shortcode into your social profile about sections. This works surprisingly well. I think a lot of brands would probably see, particularly in e-com, of course, that they drive a lot of traffic from that link in their bio. By putting your shortcode into your bio as well, you've essentially added a whole extra call to action to your Instagram bio, which is a really difficult thing to do. Yes, people can't click on it, but it's only 5 numbers. It's very easy to remember. It's very effective for someone to be able to just read that see that they're going to get a 15% discount. And if they're on Instagram, you can almost guarantee they're on their phone. Quickly just close Instagram, open the Messenger app, text those 5 numbers and hit send. They're going to get their coupon code. They're going to get the link to the website. And from there, they're going to be able to go and shop straight away. And you can actually go take it an extra step further, like we said with those UTM tags. You can then tag that traffic when it lands on the website from the mobile. So you could either, rather than having a pop-up that asks them to opt in again, even though they've now opted in, you could just have a little banner that slides down from the top that says, thanks for joining the club. Don't forget, this is your coupon code. Something like that, again, really frictionless experience. It's actually really beneficial for the customer because they stay in context on the device. They don't have to bounce around lots of different forms to get a coupon code, and they can start their shopping experience really quickly. But yeah, Jenna, if we've got a question.
Yeah, thanks for those tips, Jason. That was great, and those sound like some super quick, easy things to do. We had a question come into the Q&A, and Jason, I don't know if you want to answer it, or Matt, or maybe a combo of the two, but it's from Diana. She asks, how do you prevent people from only coming to your page to get the discount pop-up every time they purchase? So that sounds to me sort of like a targeting rule question.
Yeah, so Matt, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. We provide about 90 plus conditions, Diana. And if you truly want to target somebody that's a brand new visitor with your incentive, you can set that up with Justuno. We track people across browsers and devices and even incognito windows. So if somebody, if you're displaying a brand new visitor offer for 10% off, it's truly going to show once per visitor and that session only. We have a lot of ways to suppress offers after engagement or make sure that people aren't abusing programs. So, that's definitely something we can provide. I don't know if you want to add anything, Jason.
Yeah, the other thing I would say, I mean, we get this a lot, even in email,
Mhm.
right? So something else that we often add is in the platform, we might actually check to see, let's say they've completed another pop-up. You can actually add something in Justuno that can check to see if they're already subscribed, and then you can show messages to say like, looks like you filled this one out before. And obviously, if you've got that little asterisk on your pop-up that says first-time customers only or something like that, then people know that they're trying to cheat the system a little bit. And if they see the message to say, sorry, looks like you're already a customer, then people are just going to think, oh, well, you know, like they got me, I guess. We've also set some things up before as well around if you want to launch lots of new pop-ups. So if you want to be, you know, changing lines of promotions, as long as they're going into sort of similar lists, things like that, you can actually set rules up in the platforms to say, have they ever received this message before? And then from there, you'll be able to say to them, rather than just sending them the same welcome message that says, here's your discount code, you can send them a different welcome message that says, hey, it looks like you've already signed up. So again, like people are going to know that they're trying to get around the system. And no one's going to be upset if you just recognize that. But there's definitely ways to combat that so that people aren't just trying to cheat the system and get coupon codes every single time.
Cool. Thanks, guys. Deanna or Diana, let us know if I answered your question in the chat, and if not, we can revisit later. All right, Jason, carry on.
So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is starting off on the right foot. So you've got the mobile number. What's the first thing that you need to do? Obviously, you want to start actually sending them messages. So this is probably one of the most important aspects of when you start out, because what you really want to be doing is setting the tone, setting the expectation for what it's going to be like to be subscribed to your list. This is a series that I've taken actually from Postscript's website, really good texts. I highly recommend going and checking it out if you're looking for inspiration, because it really does show you some amazing examples of what you can do with SMS, and people have had real fun with their series. But it's really important to highlight the value. This is the number one thing that I would say that you need to do straight out of the gate when someone signs up for SMS. It's very, very easy, obviously, for you to just put a pop-up that says get 10% off, and everyone thinks, great, I want discounts. And that's all they do. They fill it out and then they just unsubscribe straight away so that they can get a discount. The best way to avoid that is to make that first experience really on brand and really engaging. So there's an example where they've included an MMS in here. So they've got a GIF at the top that's really on brand. It's fun and lively. The way that the message is actually structured is a little bit different to what it would be like if you were just texting one of your mates. But that said, it's still got a lot of the characteristics, right? It's got emojis in there. It's very light. It's very fun. And of course, the coupon code is front and center, and they've got the link. And what I actually like about this whole series is the follow-ups are all around the fact that their coupon code's expiring. So again, when it comes to highlighting value and keeping people on the list, this is a really good way to underscore the fact that, look, I'm not messaging you every day, but I am texting you about something really important, which is this fantastic discount code that I gave you that's about to expire. It's a really good way to, again, when people get the message, they're not going to be upset. They're not going to be frustrated. If anything, they're going to be relieved that they got a reminder that they can use their discount code before it expires, rather than just missing the opportunity completely. The next thing I would say to always do is to make it personal. I've got a couple of examples here from the same brand. So the Natural Club, so these guys offer products that are for hair care products, basically. So what they've done here is when you purchase a product in a particular category, and in this one, this example is for people that have curly hair, they send them a text a little while later just saying, are you looking to grow your edges fuller? I recommend using our growth serum, with a link to that growth serum. So they know that people already have some interest in that because they've purchased one product already to help with that. So by sending them that, they're just trying to drive the cross sell and drive some education. And then following that up, you've got SMS with an actual before and after GIF. So again, really visual, really highlights exactly the value of what you're trying to say. And they've used terminology that's really on brand now that your edges are laid. They've got some personalization in there, they've got the first name. But again, here's another product that you can use to help solve the problem that you came to our brand for. So it's a really personalized way to get someone in to say, look, you've tried one product, but here are a couple of things in the collection that you might also want to try. There's then a couple more examples here. Again, on the cross-sell side, so if they've got people that are have bought curl custard, they'll send them this follow-up about this particular type of conditioner to get the hair really soft, or pushing the subscription. So they offer a subscription as well with a heavy discount. So again, just doing the same thing. But also keeping it so when people get the message, necessarily feel like they're just being told to, but it's actually something they might be interested in because it's based on the context of something they've already ordered. And the last thing I'd say is to keep it really light. So this is a fun example. Everybody loves cat gifts. Amazingly, cats sell beds for cats, and their bed and cart series is very cat focused, of course, because that's the center of their business. So the first message has a picture of the actual beds, which is great. Highlights the product, reinforces what they've got. But the text message itself is very focused on cats, talking about fur balls and purring. The second one, they've got some classic gifts and that we've all seen. But it's very specific about some of the product benefits, but presented in kind of a fun or funny way. And then the last one, it actually gets pretty specific, saying, your cat called us wondering where their bed is, how awkward. So I think it's, again, like this is a really good way to help people feel like the text messages that I'm getting are part of my meeting my expectations, in terms that they're really on brand, they're engaging, they're a bit fun, that no one's really upset to be getting these SMS. And again, like I said, keep coming back to it, it just keeps highlighting the value. It's not an SMS for an SMS's sake. It's actually really in context, personalized. You got this, you should get that. You've been in this cart, come back. Everything's very specific. That's the sort of thing that's going to build engagement, so that when you do drop that big promotional SMS on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, everyone's really clued in and they want to click. The last thing that we're going to talk about, which I'm sure is the big thing that everyone's been keen to look at, is campaigns that actually cut through. This is, I guess, the big topic for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And my first and probably most important recommendation is to have simple single topic messaging. So I grabbed examples from a few different brands. These are really great examples because they're very, very specific about what the SMS is trying to convey. We all get text messages, right? None of us like getting a text message from a friend that covers 7 different topics. That's a giant novel to read on our phones. We like it to be simple, short, sharp. So the first one here is an example of a product launch. So everything's just about the one product. They've got a really good photo of the product that it leads with. Again, using some emojis to really highlight where the link is in the SMS as well. So it really draws your eye to that. Really simple with the USPs, not too long, but very direct. The next one is Native, which is a deodorant brand. These guys, again, best-selling rosé deodorant is back, get it here. Really good because it's super short and very specific. Everyone, like if it's actually best-selling, then obviously most people are gonna be keen for it. You could even segment your database in Postscript to just who people that bought that product, so that you can reinforce to them that it's available again. But really clear, and I like that they've used, rather than using a picture of the product, they've just used something funny as a gift to try and lighten the mood. And then the Bones Coffee Company, this is a more general example that I thought was really good. So they're running a promotion where you get free coffee. Again, they're just talking about the free coffee. The pictures are about free coffee. It's a really nicely done image with a bunch of their different product offerings in it. But the offer is still a single thing, get something for free. The text is very specific. It tells you exactly when, like what date and when the offer is going to end and what you need to do to activate the offer. So my advice around Black Friday and something like this is, if you're going to have a really complicated Black Friday sale that's 25% off this category and 30% off that category, and if you spend this much you get free shipping, and if you spend that much you get a free gift, I wouldn't necessarily take that approach with SMS. There's a lot of information to try and put into a single text and have people follow it. What you're much better off doing is leading with something that's just very simple and specific, like major Black Friday sale up to 25% off plus free gifts. You don't want to overcomplicate it. Something like that will just push them straight in and be able to start shopping straight away without getting distracted. The next thing that I want to show off, this is another where you can have two-way via text. Obviously, this requires a little bit of manpower. I would say just you maybe only do this at times where you have time to be able to sit down and engage with any responses that you get. But basically, what you can do is text your customers, ask a question, and they can text back with answers. I love this example, well, these few examples, where everything's centered around the dog in the brand, and the questions are really, the products are obviously for dogs, but the questions are really fun things that you would want to be asked, particularly if you're a new dog owner. So, we're wanting to get to know the brand. We want you to text us pictures of your dog so that we can feature them on social media. This is a really good subtle way to generate lots and lots of user-generated content. So lots of ways to be able to get new things to post on your social media, but also a really great way to collect content so that when you're tagging those customers that have submitted stuff, they're going to want to tell their friends about it. They're going to want to share it on their Instagram story. They're going to want to promote it to their whole network. And by sending an SMS, you might find that you receive a real treasure trove content that you can use, as well as content that's going to be have a high amount of virality to it as well. Another thing is this one where you can text love dogs to spread positivity. Again, it's just a little bit of a way to engage and have a bit of fun. Everybody needs a little bit of positivity, especially at the moment. So if you can inject that with your brand, again, people aren't going to be upset that they're receiving this text. And another one I really like is the last one about thinking about hitting up some dog parks this weekend. Which one would you suggest? What I like about it is that is the exact same text message that I would have sent to plenty of my friends with dogs when I first got my dog. It's really conversational. It's really easy. And if you get your timing right, let's say it's Sunday morning about 9 or 10 a.m. There's a pretty good chance that most of your customers are at a dog park when you send that text message. And it's a really great way, I know that I do it when we go to dog parks, at particularly our local one, we have people who we see there all the time. We usually have a chat. If you get a text message from a brand in context like that, it's definitely the sort of thing that you're going to say, oh, hey, I just got this text, or look at this. Worst case, you're going to get a really interesting amount of content that you can maybe use to look at geographically, maybe where you should be spending your ad dollars. If you get a lot of text messages from a particular city in a particular place, that might be a really good indication that we should pour some more ad dollars here because we've got really good cut through. But on the back end, you may also just be starting up conversations by sending that message at the right time amongst the people who've received the message. Who knows what kind of cool content you'll get. Now, the last thing that I'll bring on is creating urgency. So this is probably the big thing for me, which is why I saved it to last with SMS. We are big believers in SMS, that old saying from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. We don't always recommend that people hammer their customers with text messages, but there are really, really great in context ways to send text messages. So for example, you've got a product launch coming up in 3 days. You're sending your emails, you're posting on social media, doing everything as normal. You might not want to send an SMS until 5 or 10 minutes before that launch goes live. And that message can say, like this first one, this product is back, hurry now so that you can get yours before it sells out. Again, you're highlighting the value, you're not bombarding them with text, and you're helping your customers understand that they're only going to get messages at really key times, and you're actually using the medium for what it's designed for, which is really instant gratification. Again, you're running a sale over 4 or 5 days. You probably want to send an SMS at the start of your sale. I would definitely recommend that. But you don't necessarily need to send one every day. You might want to send one 12 hours before the sale is going to end. And you could even get more specific, where you could say, well, I know that these people are signed up for SMS, and I know that they have opened at least one of the emails about the sale and they haven't purchased yet. Just take those people and send them an SMS. I would recommend sending it to everyone, but if you do want to be cautious with your list, there are lots of ways that you can take some engagement on one platform and cross that over with another to make sure that you check this out. And the last example that I've got on there is a new arrivals one, so a product launch as well. Like you can see, this message is going out just as the launch happens. So we're not bombarding them, we're sending them something that's really in context, really on time. This is the sort of thing where people are going to be, they're going to create a lot of FOMO about the idea of unsubscribing. This is the stuff that's going to help people from not wanting to leave your list, because they know that when they get the messages, it's really timely and it's really crucial. And even if they're not interested in that product specifically, they're going to think to themselves, maybe next time it will be the product that I want, and I really want to make sure I don't miss out. And that's me. I'll stop sharing. But if anyone has any questions, I'm definitely keen to have a chat.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. That was super thorough. I actually have a couple of questions, but I'm going to save them to the end, and I'll let obviously attendees ask first. But Alex, let's go ahead and let you round this out. We have just a little bit under 15 minutes, so I'll let you go ahead and screen share.
We are going to keep this tight. Cool. Looking good for all?
Yep.
Great.
Okay.
So it's interesting for me to do this webinar with these two other presenters, because normally I'm the only one talking about SMS. And actually what you've heard today are like the two most important tenets of a strong SMS strategy, which is like focus and invest early and often in list capture. Like list growth is everything, because unlike email, with SMS, you have to start building from scratch. You can't like opt in all your old customer base. So like the first presentation is super relevant. And the second presentation, the other thing I talk all about is the importance of not annoying your customers. This channel is different than email. It needs a subtle, more conversational approach if you want to keep ROI high, keep unsubscribes low. The one other thing I'll say before I start is this is reallygoodtext.com. It got mentioned a bunch before. We recommend you go here, bookmark it. It's a great resource we built of all kinds of like filterable and inspirational texts. So you can see like what cool brands are doing as well. That's a good resource. But let's dive in. So Postscript is an SMS marketing platform specifically for Shopify. So what we do is we install into Shopify in one click. We also have really easy integrations with all of the other main tools in the ecosystem like Justuno and Klaviyo and Gorgeous and Zendesk and things like that. And through here, you can run any sort of text program you would want to, whether it's a campaign broadcast, whether it's building out SMS automation flows, or whether it's responding one-to-one and going back and forth with your customers. We're like the agnostic platform that's really good at low SMS prices, optimizing for deliverability, everything like that. So a couple things we're going to hit in the next, I'm going to try to keep it to like 5 minutes if I can, is talking about Black Friday. So I want to show you guys some inspiration from last year. I want to talk preparation timeline and prep checklists. So like how you can set yourself up now for success then. So looking back at 2019, a huge amount of sales on Black Friday, Cyber Monday were made on mobile devices. This trend is not reversing, it's here to stay. And so what we saw just based on that is that if you have a robust SMS or mobile retention strategy and remarketing strategy, like that's going to be most relevant because it's where most of your shoppers are going to be those days. So this was an interesting example we saw that did really well last year. Frey, they're cool, like men's deodorant and consumables brand. And what they did, we saw brands sometimes sending out multiple messages on Black Friday, Cyber Monday per day. We saw everything, but they actually just sent out one message per day. And why I wanted to show it is because of the use of creative. This is not a tiny little text that says like, buy now. This is like a relatively long, extended MMS message. It includes an image that's relevant to the promotion, and then the link is down at the very bottom. So there's a clear call to action. They use an emoji. They break out each like piece of information you need to know per line, and the results speak for themselves. It generated over $50,000 of click revenue and on 22,000 messages sent, which is great. So we are here, and the question that I'm starting to hear more and more, and that we're going to be talking about the rest of the year, is like, how do you prep in time? So much of that comes down to starting to build your list now if you're not, right? Utilizing a tool like Justuno will help you do that in really advanced ways like Matt was covering. And the data backs this up. Again, because when you try to start SMS, you're going to be starting from scratch. You have to start early. There's no way to enable all your old customers. So with that, we saw some data last year that backed this up, where stores that installed right before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, versus stores that had installed and had been building their list for a while, there was just like twice the revenue impact. It's a really, really straightforward number. So what all this means, and if you take one thing away from my talk, it's if you want to do SMS on Cyber Monday, which everyone should, if you want to send a message through a channel that gets 98% open rates on the busiest e-commerce marketing day of the year, which everyone here should, you should be building your list now. And you should be investing in that list growth with all the different ways that you were hearing about from the last presenters. Targeted mobile and desktop pop-ups, opt-ins at checkout, including opt-in offers maybe inside of email or on Instagram profiles like we saw. There's just so many different ways to gather opt-ins, really just based on wherever your audience is. So let's talk prep. I put this slide in here again because it's the main point of prep that you need to know. If you want to be ready, start building your list comprehensively now. Do not just be accepting opt-ins at checkout. Have a more comprehensive site-wide strategy to build an SMS list. And looking at some folks who performed really, really well in last Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we asked them for some tips. So this first page was just dedicated to people saying the same thing I've been saying. Groom your list over several months, build your list over summer while it's cheap and uncompetitive. And as far as marketing goes, a lot of the advice we hear back from brands who are seeing really sustained ROI and really low unsubscribes is to not think of this channel as just a promotional like highway. If you're sending a text for 10% off 3 times a week, every single week, you are doing this wrong. You're wasting money, you're driving huge unsubscribes, and your ROI is going to decline. Instead, taking a little bit of a more conversational approach, taking a targeted approach so that each message sent is relevant to the user who's getting it, that's what's going to see sustained ROI over time. And it's just less annoying. Like if I'm going to be texted by a brand, which is a really personal thing, like I don't want to feel like I'm getting spammed there. I really want it to be targeted and relevant and important and not only promotional. I want it to be, like you heard earlier, a mix of shipping notifications and like conversational prompts. And I want my customer support team to be paying attention in there as well. So the next thing to think about for Black Friday, Cyber Monday is not only how to grow your list across different channels, but also how to think about why email and SMS can play together or where they can play together. So sometimes I talk to brands that are nervous. They say, isn't it annoying if I send someone a text and an email about the same thing on the same day, right? Isn't that just, don't they take away from each other? And what the data shows us more and more, we have a really powerful integration with Klaviyo where we get a lot of this data from, is that with the right SMS approach, the answer is no. So this is omni-channel marketing. You want to touch users through multiple channels if they're qualified. The difference is that users' tolerance for email is much higher than for SMS. So if you're sending 5 emails a week, right, maybe only the most important of that sort of message should be going out to the same user via text. Otherwise, your subscriber lists are probably going to look different. People are going to maybe see an email and then maybe later catch a text a few days after. And like that sort of multi-touch point engagement is actually really powerful. We've been doing omni-channel marketing in other ways for a really long time. It's just about taking a targeted approach so that, yes, you're not sending the exact same thing through the same channels at the same time every single day. The other thing I want to say is that it's so early in SMS. I encourage everyone here to experiment. We are constantly learning about what best practices are from our customers and from our agency partners, because like we don't even know. It's just continuing to evolve so fast. And so there's a Maeve example, one that we saw earlier, about like engaging with people actually about their dogs, which is really cool. But we're constantly learning. Judy is an innovator in SMS. Maeve is an innovator in SMS. Bloom, which is a feminine care product brand, they're a total innovator. And so we're learning from our marketers just by figuring out ways to build conversation trees or keep users engaged with customer support or even manage subscriptions via SMS. So there's a lot to play with here. And if you get your experimentation done now, you'll be able to apply those lessons come Black Friday. Next is creative. This is a funny one. On the left, you see a text that's absolutely disgusting and should be banned from the face of the earth. And we see a shocking amount of that go out, a shocking amount. This is a canvas, just like email, just like an ad. So on the right, I made an ad for one of my favorite brands, Recess. And it didn't take me that long. I went to their Instagram and I grabbed an image. I looked at how they describe their product in emails, and I kind of took some of that inspired copy. And it has emojis, it's spaced out. There's a really clear call to action at the end. It's beautiful. And like, that's the sort of approach that keeps users engaged. Cool. So to recap, start building your list, focus on experimentation over the next few months, see what sorts of engagement strategies work well, make sure your creative is primed, and don't overthink the email versus SMS merge. It'll end up, your subscriber list will be different. You'll be sending it out in different cadences, and you can always filter out people who've been clicking on campaigns in email or people who've been buying from SMS and vice versa. So happy to answer any questions, but that's it for me.
Cool. Thanks, Alex. Looks like we came in right at time, so I appreciate that. We do have time to entertain a few questions though, if you guys would like. So Alex, if you want to go ahead, I guess we could just leave it on that screen. Okay, we had a question come in for Alex for Postscript from Jonathan. He says, hi, this question is for Postscript. Do you have any plans to add some more styling options to the pop-up? I love the platform, but the pop-up is very intrusive looking compared to others I've seen.
It's a great question. So the answer is that it's not our specialty. So here's how we view this. I'm sorry, I can't give a 10-second answer here. I'm sure that we will polish that up a little bit in the long term, but what's really hard about SMS is like deliverability and preventing crosstalk and like building out data segmentations. And that's going to be our focus. That's what we're best at. And that's like where we're going to bring value. If you want to get really targeted or really creative as far as like the actual visuals for acquisition goes, you're going to get the best results and best return using, you know, one of the collection focused tools like Justuno, or trying to build something on your own. So I'm sure there'll be little polishes, but there's nothing imminently planned, and it's just really not what we're trying to be best at.
My advice as well, like coming from an agency point of view that implements like lots of different platforms, using a platform like Justuno can be handy because it also centralizes all of your strategies for those different channels. So if you're going to want to have, you know, you capture email when people first come in, and you want to capture SMS when if maybe people are exiting, or maybe on a second session or something like that, It allows you to not have to be thinking like, okay, like I got to remember the timing in PostScript is this, and then the timing in Klaviyo for that pop-up is that. And like for some people, it's just not going to be quite right, and they're going to see both, but like, what can I do about it? You can use a platform like Justuno to make sure that every single session that a customer has, you're going to have a plan for it. It's going to look right. It's going to be right. And that's the value where something like Justuno comes in. And obviously the creative tools are endless, so you can make it look exactly how you want it to as well.
Cool. Thank you guys for that input. Jonathan, I hope that answers your question. He says, good to know. Thanks for these answers. You are welcome. We have another question that came in via chat from Alicia. Hope I'm saying that right. She asks, will the browse abandonment be here this year? My guess is that is a question for Postscript.
Signs are looking positive. I don't want to get too far ahead of my product team, but yeah, that is certainly a focus.
They might want to kill you later. Okay, she says, yay.
It's going to be all over Instagram and Twitter in like 5 minutes.
So, Alicia, sounds like that made you happy. Cool. Well, if there are any more questions, we can hang around for maybe just a few more minutes. I want to go ahead and drop in a few links to the chat. I hope I do these due diligence, but we had some good stuff from each of our partners here, and just wanted you guys to be able to check out everything, as well as some stuff from Justuno. See if I can get this to go. So it looks like Postscript, you guys have a requested demo link, 30-day trial. I don't know if you want to talk about any of that, but we linked up to really good text messages, join the Postscript partner program, and also see how Postscript works for Plus merchants, which, yeah, congrats on that again.
Thank you. There is an advantage for Plus merchants in that you can, because of the custom access on checkout, you can gather opt-ins for SMS using a separate checkbox, which lets you have a pre-checked email opt-in and an unchecked SMS opt-in, as opposed to sharing both. So there's an advantage for Plus merchants. Yeah, thanks for these links. I'm now 3 minutes late to my next call. Yeah, if anyone's interested in SMS, go to the site. You can chat with sales. You can schedule a demo. You can chat with us live on site. You can go ahead and install and walk through the self-serve onboarding. We're happy to connect.
Cool. And then here's the links from Andzen. It looks like you guys have, yeah, you can go ahead and go, Alex. Thank you. Looks like you guys have an obligation-free consultation partner link.
Yeah, that's right. So we do, we do free audits. So more than happy to talk to merchants about what they're hoping to achieve and what they want to do, particularly with getting set up with Justuno and Postscript, maybe reviewing their current setup. The advice is free. So if you want some. We've also got a really good blog where we have case studies. So the case studies links on there and the blog links there. There's heaps of content there that our philosophy as an agency is we give out our knowledge for free, and for the merchants that need it and have the time to do it themselves, they'll go and do that. And for the merchants who like it but are big enough that they don't have time to do it themselves, they'll get us to do it. So there's lots of really practical advice in there that you can just take away and put in practice. Like Alex said, I'd recommend doing it as soon as possible so that you're ready for Black Friday. And yeah, of course, if there's anyone else on the call who wants to partner up, please reach out. We're happy to chat.
Cool, thanks for that. And then Matt, I can tell you what I put in here because you know, I linked up to our 14-day trial. You guys can just head to justuno.com. That's the first link there. Second thing is our CRO analyzer. Matt, I don't know if you want to touch on anything about that.
No, it's a really cool report. You drop in your URL and maybe a couple other statistics there, and it gives you a little insight on like how many leads you should be collecting, SMS leads, email leads, sales conversion. So, you know, take it, utilize it, and, you know, depending on what you're looking for, I think you can find some good data points to build off of.
Very good. And the last link I dropped in there is a guide that we put together just, you know, as we all are aware, this is a time where everything's fluctuating and some businesses are killing it. Some are truly suffering. and we empathize with both of those things. But the one thing everybody has in common is some type of site traffic. So we wanted to put together a guide for any size of retailer and however you're faring during this time to be able to make the best of it. So for those of you who stayed on, thank you guys for staying. I will be sending out this recording, and I will send out all of these follow-up links from our partners. And yeah, feel free to reach out with any questions. And if you need to get connected to Jason or to Postscript, we're happy to facilitate that. But other than that, you can find their information in the follow-up. So Jason, Cynthia, thank you guys for your time. Matt, thank you. And thanks to Postscript, even though they had to leave a little bit early. Have a good
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
One big fat American thumbs up. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.